Okay, first things first, let's get the obvious out of the way. On a technical level, this game's amazing. I'm not here to dispute that. However, when it comes to basic game design, Rockstar, well, they suck. There's really no other way of putting it. Rockstar may have a lot of money, and may have a lot of talent in their studios, but the people in charge seem to have never actually played a game before in their lives. This might seem a bit harsh, but it really is the only way I can explain the horrible jokes that go on in Red Dead Redemption 2. And nothing makes this more clear than the very last mission of the game. Once the cutscene ends and we regain control of our character, the first big mistake shows its ugly face, and that is putting big letters on screen telling you what to do. Now I really shouldn't even have to explain how stupid this is, but unfortunately, here we are. This has become common practice in video game design. I have been playing this game for over 50 hours, yet here we are. Tell me something, have you ever been playing a game with a friend, and then he just proceeds to backseat you like crazy? It's not a fun experience, right? Well, I know this because I used to be that shitty friend. However, I never once saw my friend in a hallway with nowhere else to go, literally no other options, and thought, maybe I should still tell him to go forward. These messages are simply insulting. There's no other way of putting it. I might be a moron, but I still don't like being treated like a moron. Really, it amazes me how developers go on and on about how realistic their games look, then have absolutely no problem breaking all immersion created by said visuals by putting big text on the screen telling you what to do. Now, it's bad enough that they are literally programming backseaters into their games now, but in Rockstar's case, they take these messages to a whole new level of bad. In Rockstar's case, these messages are not just here to guide the player, they are direct orders that you have to follow, or it's game over. Now going back to the last mission of the game, let's just analyze this for a second here. First of all, you have one guy right over there. Now you might think, hey, I've shot people from further away before, I have long range weapons, and even if I didn't, I have an ability that makes it impossible for me to miss. So you try to shoot him, and this happens. That's right, you can't kill him. Why can't you kill him? Read the message, idiot. You can try and get close to him, you can try and get around him, it doesn't matter. You have to play the very specific way the message tells you to play, even if it's totally illogical given the game's mechanics. You might also think that, hey, I have full HP, I have a million healing items for some reason, I don't really feel like hiding behind a rock. So I'm just gonna run at the guy, right? I know how many bullets I can take, I've been shot a lot in this game, so let's do it. Bam! Dead. If you try to shoot him when you're not supposed to, he can do 100% damage. Why? Well, read the message, idiot. That's why. Oh, and don't worry, if you can't read the message for whatever reason, usually you're accompanied by an NPC that will also backseat you. So guess what? What's the end result of this? Well, the end result is you have to play the exact way they want you to play. You have to go to this rock, wait till the game tells you to move to the other rock, then wait till the game tells you to go to the other rock, and then wait till the game tells you you can kill that guy. This is a joke of game design, it really is. This is embarrassing. Really, let's just take a second and apply this type of philosophy to another game. Let's say Super Mario Bros. For the Nintendo. In Super Mario Bros. You have two buttons, a run button and a jump button. You can combine those two and you can test what your character can do. You can see how high you jump, you can see how far you jump, and so on. Now you come into this little area here, and what do we see? Well, there's three options, right? You can jump over that pit to go inside the pipe, you can go straight down the pipe you're in, or you can go over that little ledge there. Now this is how Rockstar would handle things. Bam! Stupid letters on screen telling you to go inside the first pipe. And if you try to go against those rules, let's say go over that ledge over there, invisible wall, you come straight down. And if you try to jump over the pit, your jump gets arbitrarily nerfed for no reason and you fall down and die. Is this what we want? Is this good game design? This right here is Metal Gear Solid 1, a PlayStation 1 game. A PlayStation 1 game. And much like Red Dead Redemption 2, it's a very cinematic experience. However, unlike Red Dead Redemption 2, you are in full control of the gameplay portion. All the mechanics are available to you. You can experiment with them as you see fit, and the end result is the possibilities are literally endless. Now let's just take a look at how Red Dead Redemption does it. You follow an NPC in a straight line for like 5 minutes in a situation where it's literally impossible to mess up. There's no player freedom, there's no player expression, nothing. You just follow him and you do exactly what he tells you to do. Essentially, you're not actually sneaking around, you're just pretending that you're sneaking around. Now here's the choice that the game actually gives you. Hey bro, you wanna kill this guard that has his back permanently turned to us? Or shall I kill him? That's it. That's the gameplay. Like this is a joke. It really is. Now going back to the last mission of the game. After a very bad cutscene of this total badass taking out 2 guns and missing every single bullet as you slowly get into cover, the fight begins. A lot of the criticisms I mentioned at the beginning of the mission also apply here. However, in this fight, they added even a little bit more spice. If you try to get out of cover to rush the guy with a knife or something, which you should be able to do given the game's mechanics, Rockstar will actually program the backseater to take the controller out of your hands and put you back into cover. That's right, I'm not authorizing this move, this is the game playing itself. I'm constantly fighting the controls for control. Also, your Deadeye doesn't work, which you almost kinda can excuse, because it would make the fight trivial. However, the fight is trivial to begin with. It's barely a fight at all. And if your game mechanics don't support a boss fight, maybe you just shouldn't have a boss fight instead of just disabling something for no reason. So you have to shoot him normally without your ability. However, if he shoots at you while you're shooting at him, Rockstar will also take the controller from your hands and put you back into cover. This right here is Metal Gear Solid 3. In Metal Gear Solid 3, there's a lot of fights where you fight both close range and long range. But in some fights, the developers want you to just fight long range, like the fight with Ocelot. Now how do they accomplish this? Well, by putting a crater in the middle of the arena so you physically cannot get to him. That's it. Extremely simple basic game design. Rockstar, on the other hand, what do? They'll take the controller from your hands and go like, no, 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 we don't want you to do that. Go back into cover. Okay, there we go. Yeah, you're supposed to stay right here and fight him like this, okay? Horrible game design. Really, when I think about horrible game design trends, Rockstar hits almost every single box. The realism effect. That's a check. And what that means is realism takes priority over everything else, even if it's at the cost of fun gameplay. Stuff like unresponsive controls that fight against the player for the sake of making the animations look better. Long looting animations that take way too long, so long in fact that I gave up on looting bodies extremely early on account that I was falling asleep. Unnecessary animations like when you're playing cards, and the list goes on and on and on. Essentially the philosophy is, if you can make something look better, do it. I don't care if it's annoying, I don't care if it's not fun. If it looks better, just do it. A very long and boring intro scene with a lot of fake gameplay that takes over 2 hours before the game actually starts. That's also a check. In those 2 hours we have insulting tutorials teaching important controls like how to walk. That's a check. Completely on rails scripted scenes with no player freedom or expression. That's a check. Unbelievable boring and tedious side quests that no one really wants to do, but game reviewers keep praising them for some reason, so game developers keep doing them. That's also a check. These side quests are essentially like taking out the trash. You don't want to do it, you don't feel like doing it, but it's right there, staring at you, mocking you. So you finally decide to do it. And guess what? After you do it, it feels really good, right? However, that satisfaction that you're getting is not because you actually enjoy taking out the trash, now is it? Here's the thing, people, you can have both. Extra optional content does not have to mean annoying, tedious, time-consuming things. QuickTime events slash minigames that add nothing to the gameplay and are a complete waste of time and annoying as all hell. That's a check. QuickTime events at the very least used to be about testing the player's reflexes, keeping the player focused on what they were doing. But now you're watching a cutscene, then the cutscene will just pause forever till you press a random button on a controller. Jesus Christ, man. Like if you were watching a movie and every 5 to 10 minutes the movie would just randomly stop till you press a button on a controller, you think you'd have a better experience or a worse experience? How is this a thing? This is so stupid, man. And of course, forced walking segments. Oh boy, you better believe that's a check. This entire game is a forced walking segment. Sometimes you can only walk slowly, sometimes you can walk a little faster. Sometimes you can run a little bit, sometimes you can run a little faster. Jesus Christ. When I say Rockstar has talent in their studios, but the guys in charge never actually played a game before in their lives, I mean that. And this is the perfect example of that. I refuse to believe that someone who has been playing games their entire life would ever implement forced walking segments, especially to this extent. Here's a little test. I want you to think of 10 games you really like that are from a third-person perspective. 10 games. Are you done? Good. Now there is a 99% chance that all of the games you thought of allowed you to walk. Now the million-dollar question. Did you do it? Of course not. Nobody did. Not a single person walked. Listen, you can make GTA 3 look hella cinematic by walking around. Yet nobody did. But still, developers have taken this information and said, you know that one thing that players could always do, yet always chose not to? Yeah, I think we should force them to do it. Genius, people, just genius. Listen, I understand that people like Rockstar and their games. I totally do. You play Red Dead Redemption 2 for a bit, and you can immediately see the quality of this game. It's impressive. I get it, right? Just riding my horse around, looking at the scenery was an amazing experience. However, when I look at the studio, all I can think of is, what a waste. If only all of that money and all of that talent was put into somebody else's hands, then we could truly, truly be getting something special.